Okay. So when we were little, we always told stories about Bigfoot or Deer Woman and jack-o'-lanterns or little people. So when we were young, you hear all these stories and, sometimes you see stuff, and I don't know if you ever seen anything that you probably didn't think was real, but a lot of us here, we have a lot of our Native American people are real spiritual. The first time I saw a creature that looked like a little monkey, it was a baby. It was in 1985 or 84. No, it was 84. It was the winter of 84. Just became winter time. And they call them creatures in Ponca, they call them Indalinge. Indalinge. And so anyway, I've seen them throughout my lifetime. One time in 1996, me and Paris, these are Poncas I'm naming, Paris Roy and Lamuel Rod and Brandon Matthew Brown, my little cousin. These are all my relatives. Well, he's dead now, that one. The rest of us are still alive. We got dropped off in the timber, probably about 4 miles away from my house or more. So we had guns. Everybody had guns. Damn, my throat's jacked up. So anyway, we had Paris, Chops, Brandon, and myself were walking. All three of them had 22 rifles. I had a 22 rifle and I had a 12 gauge with a, you know, double out buck and slug every one. I had a clip. I had a clip of 5 in one chamber. Had 6 shells in that 12 gauge. So anyway, we kept hearing these high pitched whistles. We kept hearing these high pitched whistles all over. And we're waiting on a friend of mine at that time named Virgil Knoxall. Anyway, we thought he was making, funny sounds like those high pitched whistles we were hearing. Oh, excuse me. So we got dropped off at what we call County Line, and we walked through the timber right along the Arkansas River. And so we were walking, and we kept hearing them whistles. Now we heard 3 of them in 3 different directions. So as time went on, I uh, I noticed, I'm gonna jump the gun, but I'm gonna come back to that. But we noticed that these creatures, these Bigfoot, I mean the Bigfoots, Sasquatch, whatever you want to call them. And that's how they were communicating with by high pitched whistles. And I've done some studying on them on the internet, from that time. And anyway, they said that they had high pitched whistles. Why didn't you get a chance, Robert? But those creatures are really alive. We've seen them down here. Our relatives seen them up north, but they're around. And so anyway, we'll go back to that story. So anyway, these things are kind of scaring us a little bit. making them sounds, and they're getting close. We could tell they're closing in. They're closing in on us. I told those guys, I said, look in all directions. I made one look to the back, one look to the east, one look to the right, and I took the head. So we came to a big hay bale, a big round hay bale. So anyway, I lit one of them on fire. It lit up a good light. And we kept walking. I was gonna light hay bales up every chance I got. Not all of them, but separate areas just to light our path. So we got probably about a half mile away from that. There was something huge on all fours, crawling around that fire, going in circles around it. Then it stood up. Like them two young boys that we had, because Paris is older than I am. I'm 44, so he's about 47. I want the other one's like 36. No, he's 37, and my little cousin Brandon, my brother, he'd been 36, so he was still alive. But they were young at that time, so you minus the years 36, 37, 44, and 47 from 1996. That was over 20 years ago. 26 years ago. So anyway, them two little boys didn't see it, but that other guy, Paris, boy, he's older than I am. He saw it, and he told me. I told him I put my finger up to my mouth because them two little boys would have got scared. So I told him, keep moving. I told him, keep moving. So now we hear them high pitched whistles like an ugly scream, like a high pitch. It's just ugly. Anyway, we got up there. We got we're probably about a mile away from where I lit that thing on fire, but we saw that Bigfoot. And so I apologize, bro. My throat's so jacked up, but anyway, I got to do this class, so I'm gonna tag about this story. Anyway, on that, I made them stop. I signal with my hand. We use a lot of hand signs and signals at that time. It's kind of dying out now, but I saw something big, really big, but it didn't see us. But if it saw us, it didn't make no indication that it saw us. But I don't see how it couldn't see us, or if anything, it was motionless. Maybe it was hoping I didn't see it. I don't know. That's all I could think about. Maybe it didn't want me to see it. So they were already locked and loaded because during that mile from when we burned that big hay bale, I made all them little boys cock their guns and take their safeties off, and that grown man, he took his off too. And so whenever they did that, they're ready. I made them spread out in a line because I didn't want, if we had to fire, I didn't want them to be hitting each other, and I damn sure didn't want to get shot. That's why I used my 12 gauge. That first shot out of them 6 shots was double aught buck. You know what that is, Robert?
Yeah, it's just a bunch of pellets.
Double aught buck has like 9 in it. Nine shots. And so They're like a little 9 millimeters firing that, at one time. But they start the longer the distance, the more they spread out. They become ineffective unless you're trying to hit something running, or something big. There's a chance you'll hit them. So anyway, I was already safety was already off. I was already chambered. So I shot it. And then when I shot it, it went, "Oh," but it echoed throughout the river and the timber. Because remember, I told you we're walking through the timber and the river was there. And when that crop, when it was standing, it was facing the west. Probably about 9 foot. It was huge. It's probably about 9 feet big. Big one jelly on it. It was about 9 feet tall, at least maybe 10 feet. It was humongous. I never seen nothing like it. They say grizzly bears and polar bears could be a grizzly could be easily 12 foot. So I can't even imagine. Then they say polar bears, the largest on record, was almost 17 foot, but that's about 15, 20 years ago. That's when they're standing on their hind legs. So anyway, whenever I shot it, it crouched down and dropped down in a crouch. I wish I could show you, but I'm not feeling that well. How it spun around and it dropped to face us. When they dropped down to faces, it was probably about 6 foot crouching. Might have been 10 foot, but it was about 6 foot crouching, still bigger than I am. And then when it did it, it made like a low, like a real rumbly sound, but it went out throughout the timber, echoed, because it echoes like that. I don't know if you ever been around mountains or timber or bodies of water or river bodies of water, they echo. So anyway, them other things started whistling, like in a frantic whistle. When I heard them other things communicating with the one I shot, I jammed that 12 gauge because I was shook. In Ponca, there's a lot of different kinds of fearfulness, and that type of fearfulness, what I felt, it wasn't not wape, it wasn't a halacha, it was wahe. I was afraid, that kind of afraid when you say kuhe, that type of fears, being afraid of the dark or being afraid of the unknowing future or something that you might not be able to see or like I told you, just being in the dark. So I had that 22 strapped on my back, that 22 long rifle with hollow points. I had it strapped on my back. And then I also had a humongous strap on that 12 gauge. So I dropped that 12 gauge and got that 22. And that 22 was already chambered. And I took the safety off of it before this happened. So I jammed that 22. I jammed both of my guns because I was so shook. And when I looked around, them little Ponca boys were gone. And that grown man was gone. I had just turned 18 at that time. I was still 18 years old. And all I could do was scream at them to stop. And they listened and they were crying. That grown man was crying. And when they stopped, I caught up to them. They were damn near a block away from me using the block system of the city street. They were damn near a block away from me, and we're in the goddamn timber. And the only reason we could see all this stuff, brother, I didn't paint the picture clear, is it was cold. It was January, about January 6th or January 7th, about a day or two after my dad had died. He died years later. I mean, before that, but I'm talking about still in his anniversary of his death. So anyway, when they stopped, I had time to pull my knife out and take those shells out because, like I said, I jammed them. And I reloaded that 12 gauge because there was a bolt action. Remember, I told you it had a clip like it. I don't know if you ever seen them. They got real nice ones now, but the older ones they're like big and clumsy looking clips. Oh, is it no pump 12 gauge? It wasn't no single shot or a double barrel breakover, nothing over and under. It was just a single shot bolt action with a clip. Damn good 12 gauge though. Anyway, I got it loaded. This time I had a slug in it because I had double aught buck and I had slug, double aught buck, so on. So I had 5 shells left. At that time, a lot of people didn't have an abundance of cell phones. I got a cell phone later that year, that summer, though, a big ugly one, like a brick held in my ear. So anyway, I got my gun loaded. Both of them, I made them all three. I made Paris take the lead, and them two boys. One was hugging him. I told him not to look, so they had their one had their face in his back while he was walking. The other one had his face in my right side because that's when my arm was up a little bit with my gun up. My gun was raised, not in firing position, but well, I could shoot from the hip. Because I used to be deadly with shooting with it from the hip with a 12 gauge at close range. So when I told them don't look back, I said I'm the only one that's gonna look back. And like I said, when I finished painting this picture, there was snow on the ground and it was so cold, that snow was frozen. So we're crunching. And some of it we didn't even break because it was frozen solid. And the trees were iced over. There was an ice storm. But the storm was over and there was a full moon out. So when that full moon out was, Robert, it looked like daylight. Have you ever seen it like that?
I have, yeah.
That looked like daylight. And so we passed. Now we're walking out of the timber. We're trying to go to the dirt road. There's a dirt. It's not a dirt road no more, but it's called the East Road. But it was a dirt road at that time. So now I told him, I said, man, we can't go through the timber. We're going straight for the road and hope a car sees us. Or if it comes, if they all merge on us, at least if we get killed out here, they can see blood to show something happened. We won't just be missing. So anyway, now we're probably about 3 miles away from that burning deal, and it's still burning. Hay bale, that big humongous hay bale, is still burning. But we don't see nothing no more. And I get by these oil derricks. You know what an oil derrick is?
I do not know.
Okay, oil derrick, it looks like a horse. It's got wheels, like its legs are moving and it's going up and down like a teeter totter like this. You see my arm?
Yeah, I do.
It's like we call a rocking horse. When kids we used to ride them like idiots and think about we could get crushed to death if we fell. And so it's pumping oil out of the ground, crude oil. And then right beside it, there's either one big tank or two tanks. Or could be a bunch of smaller things. Just depends on the company that's doing it. But this particular one had a brand new one that was probably about 20 feet high and about maybe 25 foot in circumference. And it was painted silver. When I look back, that Bigfoot was looking around that corner of that deal. And he had both his arms looking around me. You can imagine your bedroom door on one of the sides that you can maneuver on. You put your hands on the top of the door close to your chest and face, and you look out, peek out. That's how it was peeking at me. And it was all black, and I damn near froze with fear because you know what I saw. And that other one, I shot it, and I don't know if it died or not, but most likely a man wouldn't have lived from that range when I hit it. That was the third time. Second time that I really saw Bigfoot up close. And after that, we got back home. I was shooting. Them kids were terrified. They looked like they lost the pigmentation in their skin. They were so scared. And after that, we heard horrible screams throughout the timber echoing where my mother's home is. It's my home now. But I don't live there. My sister lives there, and her daughter and her son-in-law. So then 3 days later, we got about 20 other Poncas. Some of us had AK-47s, fully automatic, some semi. I had a Mac 90 that was semi-automatic with a 50 round clip, not a bunch of 20 round clips. And this time I bought one of my uh, pistol grip 12 gauges. The only reason I bought that 12 gauge is that thing came upon me. I wanted to be close range. I wanted to have that 12 gauge. And so we went into the timber. That's 21 of us. We're armed to the teeth, ammo, machetes, big bowie knives. A couple guys that had brought their one guy brought a crossbow and another guy he brought his 80-pound compound bow. Plus they all had guns too, but a lot of them like to use bow, not traditional but modern type bow type weapons. We probably got them all into the timber. Anyway, whatever it was, it knew we were coming. It screamed and it echoed throughout the damn river timber so loud. I never heard it that way before. That river I'm talking about is called Niska. It's the Arkansas River. When I heard that scream, I had a panic attack and I left. I was the head of that little gathering. When I folded, the entire group folded because I was known as somebody that wasn't afraid and was fearless. What I had saw, Robert, terrified me to the core. Don't believe that when the people say there's no things like that. That's a damn lie. There's all kind of creatures out there that you don't know about. Some probably bad. Some probably just trying to survive. Some are probably just predators. Some almost extinct. Look at it in the sea. How many creatures a year they find? Hundreds, sometimes thousands. In one year, they find a new type of something. Well, as being man, we're ignorant. We think we know everything. We think we know every creature on this land or under the earth. We don't. We don't. And that's for sure. And this next story, I'm going to tell you, it's 11 years later, 2007. I used to like to smoke weed and drive out in the country by myself. So this part where I'm talking about is like isolated. It's abandoned. All them Indian homes out there, probably about 10 Indian homes out there, haven't been lived in for maybe 60 years, older than me. But them homes are still there, abandoned, decaying, waiting for life. There's an old big bridge there. Emily, you know that bridge I'm talking about? You know, in my house, just straight south of my house, that other road, like when we were cutting grass like yesterday. If you look straight south, there's a road right there. What's the name of that road? I forgot. Okay, why to go? You remember that bridge that goes down? It was a one-lane bridge before they redid it. Okay, anyway, it's scary back there. It's like for real. You get hurt back there ain't nobody to come help you, Robert, unless some drunk Indians or Indians that are getting high. they come back there and see you, or they're trying to get nasty. A lot of people get nasty in them kind of areas too. And or a farmer might bless me or somebody and call the police or get help. So anyway, I was kind of high. I was smoking this particular weed. It's called Granddaddy Perp. They still got it to this day. So anyway, I was smoking that GPD or GEP. Um, you know, I was in a brand new Ford Escort. I just bought a brand new Ford Escort from a dealership. And I didn't have no gun on me. I had my phone and another phone on me, but I didn't have no gun on me. Usually I carry a gun on me. I don't know where I went. And I didn't have no gun on me that time. Because I thought, even though that I know if I broke down, it'd be some scary shit to have to walk home, or if something happened, or if I did something bad, I knew I could probably get away with it because of where I was at. So anyway, I'm going maybe 25 miles an hour, and I'm just sitting here, and I got a system in there, like I don't know if they even do that no more. I had some Rockford Fosgate P1s in there, 15s in there, so I had it turned down. It wasn't low, it wasn't loud at all, not even halfway turned up, but it was them type of speakers with that 1,000-watt amp bridge. It was still, even low as it gets, still had a good beat to it. So I'm just sitting there smoking, smoking marijuana, driving about 25 miles an hour down that dirt road. And I just crossed that. As soon as I crossed that one-lane bridge, I thought I had tinted windows too, and I thought I saw, and I had my brights on. I keep my brights on. If I'm out there in these desolate, or what do you call it, abandoned areas, I always got my brights on. Back then, I didn't use my flashers, but when I'm on like that now, if I go out there and drive by myself now, I always keep my hazard lights on as well as my brights. But I didn't do that back then. I was younger. So anyway, at that time, I just put my blunt out. I just put it out in the ashtray. I had like a cup holder ashtray, and I thought I saw something come out from the weeds from when I crossed that bridge. It was a one-lane big metal iron bridge. It was probably about 30 foot high, made out of wood and steel. So anyway, I didn't think nothing of it. And now that I'm going up that hill now, because it's in like a valley or ravine type deal. Now I'm going up that hill. Something, and I don't know if you can picture this. I want you to picture this, Robert. I'm in an SUV, and you're driving. Would you ever expect something to look at you, going that's big enough and fast enough when you're only going 25 miles an hour, that it could put its face in front of the windshield by the driver's side and peek at you through it while you're going, and it's going right beside you? Can you picture that, Robert?
I'd rather not, but yeah.
Well, as soon as I seen it look at me like that way, I gunned it. I damn near wrecked. I went into a ditch to get away. When I corrected myself, it jumped on the back of my car. It was on the bumper, jumping up and down. It made me like I was almost like a lowrider. I was shook to the core. I was more scared than I was then. And then it jumped off, and it jacked one of my springs up. That was a brand new SUV, but its weight. It was so heavy. It probably weighed over 1,000 pounds. It broke one of my shocks in the back, or strut. I mean. So anyway, now I'm going about 90 miles an hour, and then I'm coming up on a T. That means you either go left to a dead end where I know nobody would find me, or you take a right, and you got to go miles back north to get to somebody. And mind you, I dropped, but when it did that to me, I dropped my phone. So I had to, while I'm going that fast, I had to let off the gas, and I had to grab my phone because I was so scared. I dropped it. Remember, it's 11 years from that second incident. So now I got a cell phone. I called Lee and Tiana, and they heard my voice, and they knew that you don't hear me shook hardly ever in my life. You don't hear me shook ever. And I said, bring my guns. And I said, bring them. And I said, well, they said, where you at? I said, come straight west like you're going to Tonka through the back way. I said, bring them. I said, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I said, I don't know if I'm make it. I'm telling you where I'm at, my location. Because they know them back roads like I know them. Probably not as good, because I grew up out there. They didn't, but they lived out there with me for years. And so I told Leah and Tiana. They came together. I had a new F-150 at that time too, with suicide doors on it. And anyway, they came. I could see them going fast, really fast, because Leah drove fast. I can't remember if we had 22s on that truck or 24s. 'Cause back that time, I like to live like gang people or black people. You got to remember, Robert, I was a drug dealer too during that time. I sold a lot of marijuana and stuff, so I had a lot of money and a couple businesses, and so and they were gonna hang up on me. I said, "Don't hang up on me." I said, I'm gonna hear you guys," because I was scared. And so I was going probably about 100 miles an hour on that dirt road, and I was starting to slide, so I had to let. You don't hit the brakes when you slide on a gravel road. So I was about to lose control because I was shook, but I realized I had to control my anxiety, my fear. I had to stop being that way, and try to regain self control. So anyway, I get back on that turn, and I'm back on Riverview Road now. Right there, that street right there was T. What is that after T Street? Did it go to no U? S is to the right, to the east of us, right? Yes. But S is coming back east, right? On Fountain that. Oh, he's on U. Okay, well then that next street ain't S Street. Then it has to be R Street that I was on, because I was on R Street then. So I was on R Street coming northbound, and I took a right to get back on Riverview. And I told Leah to stop, her and Tiana. I made Tiana get out and drive that. Those are both new cars, a new truck and a new SUV. I made Tiana get out and drive that Ford Escort and get in front of me. I made Leah stay where she was at in that F-150, and I made her drive. And then she gave me my guns, and so I got that 40 caliber. And I sat facing the back of the windshield, facing the bed of my truck, because I'm thinking that thing comes in, I'm gonna start firing on it. And, I was shook to the core. That was the last time I ever saw a Bigfoot, and I never went looking for one or not. Don't get me wrong. Since I've been home these past 2 years, Robert, I've been in them timbers on yeah, UTVs and ATVs. 4x4s going through the by myself, just looking at stuff. And I haven't seen one, and I wasn't really looking for one, but I was prepared to see one. Yeah, Emily just said that they're too loud, so whatever it was, anything can hear it. Even any kind of wildlife, they're gonna hear me coming, so they might leave. But a lot of times, in Nottingham, not Babaji, they're not afraid. They're not afraid, man. And I believe they're highly intelligent. There's no way in hell they could keep long this long. But we've heard things in the past, in the early 1990s, Oklahoma, the especially the southeastern parts of Oklahoma, there's Bigfoots everywhere. They had on live TV news coverage. You could hear people shooting. A Bigfoot carried off 2 big hogs that were over 250 pounds each and picked both of them up in its arms and ran with them. On news, you go research it. Channel 4, Channel 5, Channel 9 in Oklahoma. They're real. And now they're starting to come out more. All these different kinds of things are starting to happen because people are forgetting about God. People don't care. They're becoming callous. They're becoming numb to what's happening to our children, whether they're getting molested, whether they're getting human trafficked, whether they're on drugs, whether they're drinking, or whether people just don't care anymore. Robert, no matter how you look at it, there's always going to be good things and bad things. There's always going to be things that are just trying to survive that might appear to be bad, but they'll attack when they're provoked. And like I told you earlier, there's predators, whether they're human or animal or some type of creature. There's predators in the water, in the sky, in the ground, and on the earth. And you have to be mindful. You have to be careful because as humans, we're pretty smart, but we're not that smart. And we're real ignorant because a lot of times we think that we're the only things out here. We're the supreme being. There's nothing that can hunt us. That's not true. A lot of things can hunt humans,
Oh yeah, I
but I
agree.
don't. But Robert, I don't think that in Darling, mom means that means it's just like if I talk about Native Americans, I say Nyashika Ukede, ma. That pluralizes it. When I say Indalinge, ma, that means Bigfoots or Sasquatches. I pluralize them, otherwise it'd just be Bigfoot or Sasquatch.
So you said uh, the types of fear. You had Nawape, Alache, Uwache, and Kuhech. Kuhe. So Kuhech was the fear of the dark or something you can't see. What were the other three?
Nampe, Wanampe or Nampe, that just means to be afraid of whatever. It could be anything. Guhe, some people say the Kuhe, or some people you hear say Guhe. Both understood. That's a fear of the dark or the unknowing or unknown future. Something you're worried about, something you don't know that's coming, or something that's in the dark. Either way, it's like you don't know. It's dark. You don't know what's out there. You don't know what the future holds. You don't know the perils of of the night that lies before you. And the other one is the fear of falling. I believe there's 4 types, maybe 5, but 4 for sure types of fear. Put in the dictionary. But it's pretty. Look up fear or scared. I'm gonna take a couple bites, Robert. I didn't eat nothing yet.
Yeah, you're good.
It's right. You got one nampe, one namp, papa, and you should have kuhe. Okay. Almost start talking Spanish to you. Almost said that. In the dictionary, it's got to be afraid of something or somebody due to a sense of danger or a threat to secure feelings. One nampa. Now, kuhe in the dictionary says fearful of ghosts, but I'm telling you, from them old people, I know what I'm talking about. Kuhe, when you use that word, it could also be you're afraid of something that's unseen, something in the dark, or your unknown future. But in here, it just says scared of ghosts. That's only part of it. And when you say one no, Papa, that's to be afraid of a condition or a situation, but it doesn't list that third one. Here, I got it in my notes. I got notes in here because I didn't understand it. And the other way, my grandfather Lewis has always been there to help me. I love him. Sometimes he might have a hard time or be frustrated. It's not this one. Get it out of there, Emma. Please. Give me the other ones. Let me see. It's this one. Yeah, dang. Let's see. One. Hang on. I gotta go through my notes real quick. It's one thing you gotta do, Robert Reese. You gotta take your notes and everything I tell you, anything you can find out, keep them. Even me. Some people act like I know everything. I don't know nothing. But I do know I teach. Yeah, Robert. Jeez, where's it at? I got it somewhere wrote down in here. Oh, okay, right here. Lochley, Robert.
How do you spell
Lochley.
that?
Let me go to the whiteboard. I want to put them down, all these different types of fear. Hang on, Rob. Excuse me. Afraid. Uh, Bowling. Okay. You could put fear, but I put afraid. Dark. Ghost. Unknown. Future. Write these two down, and then I'm gonna. I'm gonna write down the other ones.
All right, I've gotten written them. Yeah, I've got them written down.
You could say either way, Wanape or Nampe, same thing. Excuse me. In general. In general. I mean, of anything. Bueno, papa, afraid. Oh, motherfucking translate that right. I gotta go back to the dictionary on this one.
Yeah, the dictionary says to be afraid of a condition or a situation.
This would be like anything though, really. Hmm, situation or condition. Hmm. A lot of times when they double it like that way, a lot of times to me it just to mean that they're really fearful, but I don't know. Like I said, that dictionary sometimes it says something or it contradicts something I was told by the same person from the past. So I don't know. But those are the only fear I know. There's another one somewhere that I heard. Um, heck, what the hell is it? Anyway, but I know there's five. There's got to be five. But the main one, the main three, Wasli, Kuhe, Wanape. Those are the main three, no matter what. You got those, Robert?
Yeah, I've got them. Thank you.
And you could make words in Ponca just like how they say. You ever heard that term? Don't be yellow.
Yeah, I have. Can you make it the same way in Ponca?
You would just say. You would just say Z. Then you go. Think is like to be. Think you ain't gonna find it in that dictionary though, but it's understood as think. D flash nozzle I think, and then you have to use that negative article aji, and then a command male or female. Male will be ajiga. See, nobody ever translates it right or like that. You could pretty much say ajiga, and just from what you know, when you put ajiga, it means don't do it or don't something. So if I just say ajiga, what does that mean to you, Robert?
For a guy not to do it?
It just means don't do it. Like don't. You know, like like in English we say don't. You ever say that word? Don't.
Yeah, or like stop or something. Yeah.
Oklahoma, a lot of people say don't. Everybody, but well, you can say ajiga. You ever watch Rust Dogs?
I do not. I've never seen it.
It's a show about Indian people, Native people. It's kind of comical. My niece got some kind of extra roles or something, but she's gonna be gone on next weekend. So anyway, we got all them different types of fear. And remember back to them things I talked about. Bigfoot, deer woman, and little people or jack-o'-lantern in our language are considered the same thing. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's the way I understand it. So deer woman, deer woman is called Dachdiwa'u. Dachdiwa'u. They used to say when I was little that she's always at dances. I never did see her. If I did, I didn't know. They used to say that she'd take men off. Sometime our Ponca man would come up missing. They say they took her off. Anyway, one time my grandfather, his name was Marvin Littlehole. Marvin way Asian that that word translates to little hole or little rake. But anyway, they called it little hole. So it's a motion you use a rake in motion or a hoe in motion. He used to drive tractors. Farmers used to plow. They had two lights in the front and two lights in the back. One time he was way out in the country. And they got another one that, that they call a bloody faced deer lady. Some people just call it deer lady still, but he was out in them fields. They had to get that job done. He got paid by the field, so he was trying to get it done to get paid. That's my mother's dad. Anyway, he said he looked back. He had a funny feeling, so he looked back. And behind them, you know what them disc are? Disc. Robert,
Oh, sorry, I was muted. I can't say I do.
they're hooked on the back of a tractor and they till the ground up. They tear up the ground so they can plant.
Oh yeah, I have seen those then.
Okay, so anyway, behind them discs, there was a woman running toward him. Indian woman was running toward him on the back. Anyway, her entire face was bloody, like blood was just dripping from it. She had on all black, a black shawl, but her face was all bloody. I don't know if maybe he should have stopped and checked on her, but from the stories we're told down here, and even then, my grandfather, he was born at 1915. He was older than my grandma. She was born in 1922. So anyway, he left. He quit. He didn't even finish right there. He tried to get away from me. He finally got away from that. She stopped and started going the other way. Could that have been a Ponca woman with a black shawl that needed help with a bloody face? I don't know. But I'd probably be, and he was way out by himself. Like, you know what I'm talking about. We call them the West Roads. Who's younger? You call them, who's younger, Carrie? Me, ideata. Me, ideata. The West Roads. So anyway, he got the hell up out of there. He went back to where that farm was at. Told him what he saw. That farmer went out there with his hands and they didn't find nobody. Didn't see no traces of blood, nothing, but it shook my grandfather. His Ponca name was Fahe. His name was the Hill. Anyway, he was terrified. He damn sure was. And so he never plowed that late again. You know, and back then, them old days, like you see these tractors now, they got air conditioning or they got heaters in them, they got Bluetooth in them, GPS, they got satellite radio, TV in them, they got all kinds of stuff in them. Everything with a bathroom. And so anyway, he never did that again. He never. As soon as it started getting dark, he quit. And then one other time, he was out there checking on fields, walking. Now I'm just telling you little stories about what my grandmother and my mother told me. Now I'm talking about uh, Montanale, Montanale. Those are little people, or some people call them jack-o'-lanterns, but really they're called little people. Mystical people with power. Some do good, some do bad. Like to play games, mischief. So anyway, anyway, something he saw something. He saw something in that field, you know, because he planted with wheat or corn. In them days, those were the biggest thing was wheat predominantly than corn. So he had a split field with corn and wheat in it. He was checking it. Why he was checking, I don't know. Because he didn't even own that crop. That was the farmer's crop. He just worked for the farmer. I guess he took pride in his work. He was walking down them fields way out into the middle of nowhere. His car, his, old ass car. I forget what kind of car it was. Old car anyway. Anyway, whatever he saw, it took him off. Like hypnotized him, took him off. He found him 3 days later, wondering if he didn't know what was happening. What's going on. And all the old people said it was a not Molly. While these they said them old people were saying this is not Molly while these I said the little people took him. And my grandpa was pretty old, old in these times, late 50s, early 60s, something around there, probably late 50s. My grandfather I guess you could say he learned the hard way when it got close to dark. He stopped working. He didn't even wait till it got too close to dark. He quit at a certain time after that. A lot, a lot of time, people, punkers back then, from sun up to sundown, they worked. Even in my lifetime, they worked that way. And I worked that way before when I was young, real young. I was like $27 an hour working like that for a farmer. That's what I got paid, $27 an hour. I mean a day. So he learned the hard way. Give me some cough syrup. I keep coughing still. And this is gonna be the last story I tell you about this type of things. And this one right here, you could just call it one off thing. Higa. One off Higa. Ghost stories. The other ones I told you was Inda. Inda, Higa. Bigfoot stories. And then we went to Takte, what we were Higa. Hear one of the stories. I know a whole bunch more than that on all of these from other Bigfoot stories from other people. But on that Bigfoot, I told you what I seen and what happened to me. I related to you how the 3 times that I saw him. My grandpa saw a deer woman and how the little people took him off. I got a good story about little people. I don't know if you want to hear it. I can tell it some other time.
I mean, yeah,
I
sure, but
just
I can wait if your voice is a little rough.
no, it's not that bad. One time, that same my cousin, that one I called my little brother. Remember I told you when we seen that Bigfoot back in '96?
Hmm.
Okay, in 1999 on March 9th, he died. And so when he died, I drank every day for about 7 months. And I was still going to college. So anyway, one night I was drunk, drinking. I just left college, got out of school, and I see my friends, and I started drinking with them. I was drunk, and they said I was crying, missing my little cousin, my first cousin, my brother. So anyway, man, I wrecked. So I wrecked. I was upside down. It was cold. And I guess when I wrecked, somehow I got myself out of that seat, but I'd throw up all over me. But for me being upside down, yeah, I mean, I didn't aspirate or die from the moment. It came out. And then I went to my grandmother's house. Well, I ended up living there that year, but I went in that house and kicked the door, and I was drunk. I didn't even know. But and I was cooking food on the stove, and it was on fire. I was passed out, unconscious from drinking, and maybe the head trauma. I don't know. Anyway, I woke up getting slapped up. And there was tribal cops, Hobb Patrolman and county, who were slapping me up. And they're screaming at me, saying, "Where's your children? Where's your children?" And I'm like, drum dumb. I didn't know what the hell was going on for a minute. They said, "We found your car about 2 miles down the road east of here." They said, "Where's your children? Where's your children?" They're screaming at me. They're hysterical. "Where's your children?" And I said, "Should be at home." And then I started thinking, "God damn, did I have my kids with me?" And I said, "Well, was my kids with me?" They said there's little footprints all over your car, little bitty kids, like children footprints everywhere. Showed us circling the car, walking around the car, walking like they walked into the car because the windows were busted out. And I was going through my house. They were searching the back door of the washroom outside with a connected laundry room outside. And they're going through all them closets, and I could hear them going through everything, saying, "Where's your children? Where's your sons?" Everybody knew I just had sons at that time, or I had a daughter, but they were saying, "Where's your sons?" And I was like, they're with their mom. I said, "They got to be with their mom." I said, "I was at college and I started drinking. I just got out of school and I started drinking." Anyway, it was freezing that night. It was already freezing. You know, temperatures were freezing at that time. And I was kind of crying then because I was scared thinking, God dang, did I take my kids with me? Yeah, so anyway, they were using their radios and they were calling, having other officers go to my mother's house. That's where I lived with my mom, me and my children and their mother. They lived there. So anyway, they were my family was wondering where I was at, but nobody knew where I was at that whole time. You know, my car was in one of them fields upside down, and I was passed out while the stove was on fire. Anyway, the cops saved my life. I'd have probably died from smoke. How you call it? Smoke asphyxiation. How you say it? Smoke inhalation. But I talked to people and everybody knew that it was spreading down here on the reservation by mine and then Tonka and White Eagle. Port Oakland and White Eagle are two different tribes. So Ponca people, one's Tonka. Anyway, they said there was about five, six different tracks of these little feet, different sizes. And you know, some of them cow had long toenails. It had to be those little people that helped me, got me out of the cold. And if them police, them three different agencies, if they never seen them footprints, they'd have never came looking for me. Everybody knew that was my car, but they wouldn't have came looking for me. And you're probably thinking, well, how'd they save your life? I was at freezing temperatures with busted windows out, fell up all over me that was froze on me. And you get me out of there, I'd have froze to death. And then if their little footprints weren't all around that car, the police would have never came looking for me, thinking they weren't looking for me, they were looking for my children. And then by them looking for my children, they came to that house. They came to that house while I was out, stove on fire. So that's why I say I don't believe they're all bad or anything like that. They might be like humans and have mischief, uh, different personalities. Um, so I don't know.
Man, you have some stories, Eagle. Certainly
Yeah, I
been
gotta.
around in your life.
Yeah, let me take a restroom break, and I want to tell you this one last story. It's a good one. It's a weird one. It's real good though.
Yeah, no worries. A restroom break sounds pretty good.
Are you still there, Robert?
Yeah, I'm back, Eagle.
Okay. Well, I was in there trying to dry heave. It's like that stuff, I spit all that phlegm up already. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Man, hope you feel better because this is rough.
Yeah, it's the itchiness in my throat. It's making me like this way. Terrible. Okay. Okay, so now this is back in 2007 as well. I was going to a sweat lodge by the Kansas border. With a friend of mine, his wife just recently died about 8 months ago. So anyway, I'm going to that sweat lodge by Kansas. It's probably about 20 miles from where I'm at. Oh, shit. And these people are like, "Hey, we're northeast to your house over there. There's a woman all in black with a black shawl on, and she's got coal black hair, and she's crawling around in that field." I got about 6 different phone calls of people telling me that. So I turned around. I turned around and uh, headed back south because I was already north. Robert, in that field, there's probably about 200 acres in that field, maybe more than that. And it was all plowed, but they already harvested, so so there's really nothing there, but maybe a few tumbleweeds. You don't come to think, but I don't really see no tumbleweeds out there no more. Maybe they died out. I don't know. So I'm just sitting there driving, but I haven't got back to there yet. And then I called one of them people back. I said, how far you said? They said it's between. They said it's between Fountain Road and Riverview. I said, I'm almost to Fountain Road right now. I'm going across that big hilly intersection right there. So I was talking to him. I was by myself. Anyway, Robert, when I was getting close, I was probably about a mile away. I started seeing it. I couldn't tell because there's so much dust too. Anyway, Robert, I was probably about a little less than half a mile away. I saw her. She was trying to hide behind a tumbleweed. She was watching me watch her that whole time. Robert, there's no way that she could have made the movements that she made. How fast she crawled, how she crawled backward fast. When she turned her head, when she was moving her head, looking at me funny. There's no way in hell that was a woman, a live woman. I don't know what it was, demon, ghost, but there's just no way. So anyway, I tell my family keep the house locked up. I said the dogs, you hear them dogs barking. I said call the police. It was still daylight then. It was probably about August, end of August, maybe beginning of September. I don't remember. 2007. I just bought that was on a Sunday. That day before, I bought 3 cars at an auction. I was driving one of them. So anyway, I told my family I drove to the house because that was about a mile and a half, mile, a little less, mile and a quarter away from the house. But it was northeast of us too. You'd have to go through fields if you came on a direct beeline to me. You'd have to go straight through. I drove back that same way I came, Robert, and she was still there watching me. So it took me about 30 some minutes. It might have been more than 20 miles, but anyway, there was a lot of country, a lot of hilly terrain, dirt roads and gravel roads, big rocky roads that I had to go on to get to my destination. But right before I got there, I got phone calls from my house. Hey, oh, Kutonga,
Hi. Sorry if I'm making a lot of noise. I'm sorry. I should have already muted.
you all right? So anyway, anyway, before I got to that sweat lodge by Kansas, it was southeast of Ark City, Kansas, Arkansas, Kansas. I got phone calls telling me they're hearing a woman screaming in the distance, a woman screaming, and then they called back again, all while I was in the sweat lodge saying that woman crossed that road into another field, and she crossed that other road, and she came into our field where our horses and the cattle were at. They said she's screaming that the eagle, she's screaming, eagle, she's screaming, she's coming this way. And these are all voice messages I'm listening to while I'm already out of the sweat lodge heading home. I had a little guest house that people lived in too. I had about 20 head of cattle on that 160 acres, and I had about 8 head of horse and about 20 pit bulls lined up in chains, chained up all around my property except for the front, the west side and the north side, the L. They weren't, but on the L to the going south to the east side to the bottom half of my 3.5 acre yard, I had pit bulls, and I had guns in the house. And anyway, I was home, heading home, and I called them. I said, "Don't go nowhere. I'm almost home." And they said, "We're leaving. I don't care." Everybody said, "We're leaving. We're not staying." I said, "Just stay. Wait. I'm almost home. I'm about 2 miles, 3 miles away." Anyway, they said they'd wait, but they didn't wait because they said she was screaming. She was probably from my fence line where my cattle and horses are at. They said that they could see her crawling in the field, and my dogs were going ape shit, going crazy. Anyway, I got home. I was the only one there. On that, both houses were empty. Everybody was gone. That new car that wasn't brand new, but that car I bought from the auction that fucking died out, and I couldn't start it again. I didn't have my house keys, and they all fucking left. They left me, so I couldn't even get in my house, and I couldn't start the damn car. But not one time did I see that woman or hear her again. So I called them and I told them, I said, that car won't start. I said, I told you guys I didn't have no house key because I didn't have my regular set of keys with about 1,000 different car sets on there because I had 20 some cars at that time. So now there's cars all parked, they're parked in nice, a lot of nice cars anyway. I didn't even have no keys to my four-wheelers and my double seat UTVs, motorcycle. I didn't have a key to nothing. I was just stuck there, Robert. And I told him, I said, I had to get mad. I said, get the hell home, bring me my goddamn keys. I said, I can't go nowhere. And it was dark. It was pitch dark now. So I walked over there and I went and sat with one of my pit bulls, a big male. I went and sat by him until they came home. I sat on his doghouse and he sat there right beside me. But Robert, he kept looking to the east where they said they saw that woman and he was growling. And my other pit bulls were going crazy still. The only reason he wasn't going crazy is because I was sitting by him. But my head was like a swivel. I kept looking everywhere. And to this day, I don't know if you want to call that monarche piage, tachte wau, blade, ilapahamaji, blade, ilapahamaji. I don't know what to call it. But I seen it in broad daylight. They seen it at twilight, at evening, twilight, and at darkness. They heard her screaming everywhere. In the end, there was over 30 different people in cars that saw her that came and told us they saw her on that field. And Robert, when I saw her in that field, the way that she moved, there's no way in hell. I can remember it like it was yesterday. I can remember it like it was this morning. I'm telling you the story, it's going through my mind. There's no way in hell she made the movement she made. They weren't human, they weren't natural. There's no way she could have done it. Who knows? Maybe it fucking might have been an alien. I don't know. Maybe trying to act like a human. Then Ponca, we call it alien posnuta. It's got an elongated head. Posnuta. Use that word for alien. Yeah. Now we looking out the windows just thinking, damn, how time changed. But there's a lot of things like that out there. You just have to remember that. You gotta be careful, be mindful of your surroundings. Always be ready. Can be ready to make a phone call, call emergency, or help somebody out. But be careful when you're helping somebody out because it could be a trick. But I got so many stories to tell like that, Robert. That's just a couple of them, few of them. Sister, we're talking about Bigfoot, Deer Woman, little people, and ghosts. I don't know when they're gonna put all our other recordings. They only got them 10
There you
recordings.
go. I was going to say, kind of felt like I came in on a ghost story there, so.
Yeah. How you been, sister?
Got it propped up here. Yep. I'm doing all right. I'm trying to be outside because my dogs are driving me crazy if I'm not, but it's hot out here.
It's 70-some degrees here. Robert said
Feed my
it's about
Cheetos.
77 there. How hot is it there, Robert?
It's like 79 or 80 here by now.
Yeah, it's warmed up to 81 over here in Alabama.
I think we lost Robert. Oh, dude, yeah,
It,
it's warm here too, like that. It's probably
it
about the
warmed up.
same one as you got.
Yeah. It warmed up to 75. Earlier it was 72 when me and
See,
Robert
mine
were
was
talking. Yeah.
yeah, it says 81 here. I just looked at my weather thing. So Yeah, them ghosts will get with you. Scare the
What
shit
about
out of
you,
you.
Robert? Robert, do you got any kind of stories that kind of seem like they're not real, or how could it have happened, or you thought, well, it can't be? I'm just imagining.
So for the most part, no. So Diana and I did live in a cornfield for a while, and that got a little freaky when the wind was blowing and you're just surrounded by corn. Uh, and in California, we lived in the desert, so it was pretty much like, if you hear howling, that's coyotes, and you're a child, so they'll take you away. So
You're not scary as
Mm-hmm.
a child.
I could see that. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe it's being down south, but there seems like there's an inordinately um, um, larger amount of ghosts down here. I think I think they're just all over here. I don't know why. Unless it's just me. It could just be me. You talk about having like vivid dreams. You know, some people have like super vivid dreams. Like, I don't know, they have a name for them, but like they're like you can actually make the dream go the way you want it to go. They say like only about 15% of people can have ever had one, and I swear I have one like every second night. So I don't know with me, but um, that's pretty much my main every day-to-day experience with stuff like that. I just chalk it up to people from the other side just like to mess with me. People I know are going, yeah, you're not sleeping. But yep, that's my every day to day. I don't think I've seen any ends to my knowledge or little people to my knowledge or anything else like that. Just I guess I'm a ghost person. I tend to see I tend to notice people right after they pass. It seems like up to about a week, definitely a week, maybe up to a few weeks to a month, is when you see people that have, and it's like they have that one little bit of left unfinished something or something they want to say or something that they haven't quite closed up in their own lives or something. I don't know. That's probably getting way too deep about it, but it just seemed to chill out for like a week or so, and then you don't hear from them very much anymore, if at all. My best friend had a twin sister, and we don't know if she left by her own hand or if someone did it for her. Ever, we still don't know. It's been since 2005, but I mean, right, probably 2 nights after she was gone, she whispered in my ear one morning, and it felt like she was just right. I could feel her breath on my ear, and I was just in that half asleep, half awake thing. I was waking up, but she woke me up when she did it. And all I could hear was "tell the children," and then that's the last I heard. I didn't hear from her again, and I never did understand what she meant by that sentence or partial sentence. Um, but yeah, that's how things go for me. I just kind of they're there. In person is scary though. If you see or hear something in person and you don't know where it's coming from, who it is, what all, scare the crap out of you. I'm under the blanket. I'm not as brave as that I see dead people kid. Not even close.
oh no, I'm with you there. I'm a total coward.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've only been in that position like once to where I knew something was around that shouldn't be there. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm not freaky, run around seeing people and stuff all the time or anything. Just, you know, over the course of 100 years, as old as I am, I see stuff. Well, I've ran into a situation like that a couple of times, and it's like, no, I, you want to be brave, but you're not. At least I'm not. I am not. You would think You think about it, you muse about it, you remember how you did things in another, scope of interaction with something else or someone else, and it just never happens. I'm under the covers. I'm running out the door. I'm down the road. But that's my whole me. That's everything. I don't mean other than specifics. So you're gonna eat my Cheetos.
A lot of times there's
Yep.
things like that we can't explain. We have to just always be mindful. Like you're saying, it could be
It is what it
somebody.
is, man. Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, when we was out there cutting grass at my old place, and Emily was cutting grass in the back of the yard. Well, I got a 3.5 acre yard, and no one lives out there no more since I went to prison. All them years ago now, it's like 14 years ago.
Mm.
And so
Wow.
anyway, while she's on my mower, my riding mower, she said someone came by her like to almost her ear, like clear as day, and said, "Hey."
Mm.
But she looked around, she turned around, thought it was me, and I was still sitting in the SUV.
Yep. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I forgot my thing was on. I'm sorry, guys. I keep
Fine.
forgetting on this phone.
I was gonna have Emily make a Ponca skirt today, but there wasn't that many people, and it was just me and Robert, so we went into stories.
Stories are good. Am I interrupting? You guys are
Not at all.
okay.
No,
Making sure. Thank you. Yeah, I'm just. I didn't realize. I keep. My memory is bad on a day-to-day basis when it comes to schedules, anyway. But yeah, I just keep forgetting what day is what, and then we changed it again, and I can't remember what hours or what day is what, and I'm on here asking like, are we at class today? Are we now at class? I don't know. So then I had to get my stuff together, and Scott's at work, my husband. So things are all nice and quiet, and it's pretty nice. I'm enjoying myself. I just need a bonbon or two. It could be perfect.
they don't even make bonbons no more, do they?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know.
You remember what they were?
The closest thing I figure they're just little chocolate candies that had like coconut and stuff in the center of them. They're just a little round
Bonbons. I thought they were
chocolate
that
candy.
ice
They're
cream.
pretty
I
big.
thought they were the ice. I thought they were like that big with the ice cream. You had to keep them in the freezer, weren't they?
No. You're thinking like, what would you do for a Klondike bar? They're
Google what are
could look that.
bonbons?
They're they're just like chocolate candy, like you get at the yellow box for Valentine's Day. Those candies that have different insides in them.
Bonbons are. It says bonbons are small chocolate confection. They're usually filled with liquor or other sweet alcoholic ingredients, sold
Candy.
and wrapped in colored foil. I was wrong.
That's why we like them so much. No, they're just little chocolate candy things with stuff in the middle. I mean, like little round chocolate deals.
Yeah, on here it says that they're all
But
made with alcohol, so I can't mess with them.
no, I didn't know they had alcohol. I mean, unless it's like a rum type candy, which is not really something that could hurt you anyway. It's just a flavoring. Like it's all the alcohol's boiled out of stuff. I'm not necessarily the one you're talking about, but the ones some that I'm thinking of are. I don't know about them other ones. There used to be one at the candy store in the mall like 100 years ago. It was a long time, and it was like some kind. It had like literally rum when you bit into it, but it was a syrupy type, like really sweet syrupy rum. That look good.
Well, I think about drinking all the time, boy. I can't do it no more though.
Don't do it. Ain't nothing good never come out of it.
No, there ain't. 21 years sober.
Boom, chakalaka, boom. Keep going.
Yeah, I plan on not drinking ever.
That's
Again.
good. Keep planning. Keep
Emily's
going.
going on 2
Don't drop it.
years.
Mm-hmm.
Connie,
What is?
Emily's going on
What's
2
going on 2
years.
years? Oh, really?
Her sobriety.
All right. Congratulations, Emily. Good for you. I don't know if she can hear me,
She,
but good for you, Emily.
she
That's
did. She
awesome.
said
That's
thank
not a
you.
small feat, you know. Hmm?
She said thank you.
That's no small feat. Oh, you're welcome. It's true. She deserves it. She deserves every second of it, and then some. It is hard. And you know, it's not like with other drugs and stuff because that stuff's right around the corner. You can go and get it anywhere. If you got $5, you can go take advantage. So it's you know it's tough.
Yeah, I know. Connie, earlier we talked about 4 different types of fear.
Hmm.
We just kind of
Fear of
talked
my
about
big
that.
old dog. Fear of this
Just, just
monster right
because,
there.
just
Come
because,
here, baby.
what
Come eat my Cheetos. My monster. What else?
Connie,
What else you got?
is your whole yard chain link fence?
Just this one area. This is where that fence goes. That's just where the dogs play. That's just a little bit of it. See the woods. I know it's a disastery mess, but see all those woods back there. All that belongs to me. About probably about an acre and a half back there, 2 acres, something like that. And then I got like the way of the house way, the other way. Sorry, let's see this way. About another acre and a half up front. Takes a minute to get to the mailbox.
Yeah.
I know. I wish I could just pick the whole thing up and take it to White Eagle. Wouldn't that be nice?
What, what kind of house is it? The solid foundation?
It's got a foundation, but it's not a trailer house. It's a modular home. So it's like one of them
Nope.
really old yeah, it's what do you call it? Prefab
I thought a
prefab home. It's
modular
on a
home could be moved
foundation.
though, can it? I thought they could be moved.
Not this one, not anymore. Yeah, no, not this one anymore. This one's planted in Georgia laws. You got to once it's planted, that's it. You're done.
Jeez.
You could get like one in Georgia. You can get like one emergency allowance, like if someone was like on their deathbed or something to get moved, but once, and that's it. And that's if it's still got wheels under it, which this one never had wheels, so we don't even have an axle. We got to It was built like they take all the pieces and they take all the trusses and everything and they get them built in the shop and then they put them on a big truck and then they drive them out and then put them all together at the location, but they build them elsewhere. So I mean, this is old. You know, I don't know. You don't know that group I was telling you about before, but old '70s rock group used to live here back in the day. That's so old. So it's been well used and well worn. It's time to go. This house doesn't mean that much to me. I like the land very much though. I like my area where it is alone, you know. I like the way we got it set up for the dogs. I like all my trees. I like my squirrels and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
The house, not so much. I don't care so much about the house. I mean, it's nice to have a house. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm sitting out here on a piece of junk porch. It's just a piece of junk hardwood porch. Nothing special. It's about to probably fall down. It's got
It's home though.
sheet metal. Hmm.
It's home.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'm not going to complain. But I mean, it's just nothing special. I would trade it. I would go, move out of it into something else. Probably the minute I leave, though, somebody's going to knock my trees down. There used to be a neat little path back there, but I've let it grow over where you could just like walk back in the woods and be like a little path where you could go and have a fire or whatever you wanted to do. Just chill out. And I think someone at one time had a little office trailer or something back there. Let the big dreamers go out there and marinate for a day or two while they're so burnt up.
Well, I guess we could read out of the book since nobody's got no more stories. I feel like you guys got all kind of ghost stories, but you won't tell me. You probably think he thinks I'm crazy.
I don't, I don't care if anyone thinks I'm crazy because I probably am. Actually, I take medication. I could prove it. I can get a doctor to sign.
They don't. You
Wouldn't take much arm twisting either. Show my medicine cabinet, and that'd probably have you going, yow. It's hotter than heck out here though already. I'll tell you what. It didn't even feel like it ought to be at 81. I'm used to it being 90. Ricky, you're probably used to it being 100 over there. Summer. Are you near the Ricky? Are you near the Are you near the water? I'm sorry, Ricky. Robert, are you near water?
Not really. I'm near the
I can't.
lake.
My R's.
Yes, I'm near the lake going from Tennessee, but really no water.
Oh, okay. So like Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama area, sort of.
Yeah, so
Georgia
I'm
doesn't
right
have a
by.
lot of water
Yeah, I'm right
as far
outside
as
Huntsville.
ocean water for sure. Okay. Oh, that's kind of cool. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, we're about 3 hours from Atlanta. Going heading north. I'd have to head north to get there. That's pretty cool though. We're not that far apart. But yeah, it usually gets so doggone hot out here, and I'm surprised at 81. I'm about to die over here. No
I think
breeze.
it's just because it's been like in the 30s and 20s
So I guess he
for so
wants me to
long.
read something. Mm-hmm. Wasn't it just the other night where it said it was 50 something degrees at night? Wasn't it 50 something degrees the other night?
Yeah, now all of a sudden, like last
Yeah.
night was in the 60s.
Mm-hmm. I know. Are you of the? We have to get up and have the air. I mean, the heater on, and then during the day you have to crank your AC up. Is that you too?
So we left our heater on until yesterday, and then we just flicked it off. And
Really?
today we flicked on our air
Wow.
conditioner. It stayed in the like
Yes.
72 all day in our house yesterday, so we just left it.
Oh, I bet that was lovely. Wow, that was nice. Mine is I've been doing it since probably February. The heat's on at night because it gets really chilly. And then all of a sudden it's like 80 something degrees in the daytime. Right now it's cool considering how it's been here. I mean, not cool, but considering it's been all the way up in the mid to late 80s already here, once or twice. And it's wow, can't make its mind up which way it wants to go out here. I don't know. Part of me thinks, Oklahoma's going to be like, so much nicer. But then I look at their weather out there and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't know. Because it's over here in the, like you and I are experiencing 70s and 80s, and they're over there having freezing weather. It's like, when in the world do you plant your tomatoes?
Diane already
In
planted
cloudy
hers.
months. Well, yeah, I've got some in buckets this year. I was scared to put them in the ground. I didn't want
Yeah,
to.
Diane just took her plants out yesterday, I think, because she's like, all right, it's finally in the
Really?
80s. They're not gonna like freeze, so she just took them out, and that's what she did all day yesterday.
Oh, bless her heart. Yeah, I've got dirt nails from the last week. I've been just slinging stuff around for a week now.
Mm.
But good for her. What else does she have? Does she grow?
So she's attempting to grow two types of banana trees, but she's also
Oh,
got
that's neat.
succulents, and she's doing like a whole bunch of lettuce and arugula and mint and
Mm,
literally just a whole bunch of seeds that she tossed out into a
yummy.
bunch of different containers, and she's trying it all.
Yummy. Look what I got. I got some of this stuff. I am attempting, these do not germinate famously. They are slow germinators, and I'll be lucky if I get one to come up, but I thought, why not try? White sage is really bad for germination.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah, there
like
she gets all kinds of neat stuff. That sounds
yeah,
cool.
same. Like Diane's trying to do, I think asparagus or something, and that's also really slow to germinate here.
Is
So
it? Mm-hmm.
we'll see.
Do you guys like? Do you like asparagus?
I love grilled asparagus.
Mm-hmm. A lot of
It just
people
takes
do,
a
and a
while to
lot of
grow.
people just
Yeah.
yeah. You have to cook it right, and you can't have ever had it out of a can because that ruins asparagus for life.
Oh yeah. I think it's the same for a lot of vegetables.
Hmm. Yeah, and people don't know how to season. So, like when I was growing up, I'm not sure of your age, but like my mom would just slap stuff out of a can water, and I'll just heat it on the stove and just say, "Here,
Yeah, like
eat
so
it."
growing up, uh, so we try to do all this stuff. She's like, "Oh yeah, this over here, it's just baby lettuce," and so we're like, "Oh, this is good, yum yum yum." And we grow up and they're like, "Oh, that's not baby lettuce at all." So
No, what was that? That's cute. Oh my god, stuff like that happens. But yeah, being I don't know. I grew up with parents that were so old. I'm trying to adjust this. But my parents were really a lot older than me. They were born in 21 and 32, respectively. And so I basically grew up with grandparents. And boy, I knew all that old time cooking business. It's not always the best, and it's not always the worst. But I think nowadays, I wish I had grown up with like more like what are they oven broiled vegetables? Boy, man, I can't get enough.
oh, same, yeah. Brussels sprouts right now are hitting the spot for
Yes.
me. So
Yeah. Oh, they're so wonderful. Oh my gosh, they're heavenly. A little bit of balsamic glaze. Yes. You could throw Brussels sprouts and like Parmesan cheese and just a little garlic salt, and they are just phenomenal, just right in the oven like that. It's amazing how many things you can, how easy. When you people take it to such outrageous lengths to make things try to taste good, but if you think about it, they taste good on their own. People are just way overdoing it. All these chefs and Julia Childs and everybody. It's like just let it shine. People just let it shine.
oh, agreed. Just need a bit of fire on it, and it tastes
Mhm,
delicious.
mhm. Yeah, yeah. Like like older recipes, people try to fine tune them and make them different. And yeah, a lot of times it's just just have the original. It's good. Like I think emerald. I mean, this is not a healthy dish by any means, but back in this down in the South, if you farther from the South, it's called chicken and dumplings. But if you're from where my dad was from, it's called chicken pastry, which is an Appalachian type thing. And I mean, Emerald Lagasse's on there one day when I was young, and I remember seeing this. I was probably in my 20s, and he's going, "You do all this to make chicken and dumplings, and you're doing this." And he put about 10 ingredients in that dumpling. And he's talking about, the whole time how it's the food that fed all these farmers and all this. And it's like, wait a minute. I don't think they had that back then. It's
Yeah,
just
like I've always made
crazy.
it as just like chicken stock, canned
Yeah.
biscuits,
Hmm.
chicken,
Hmm.
and there you go.
Hmm. I mean, really, I mean, honestly, if you think a hoe cake was anything more than flour and water, you're misinformed.
Yeah,
Back in,
poor
I don't
people
know,
having to listen to us talk about food.
uh, reminiscing about hoe cakes and hot boy
Yeah.
stuff. He's not paying attention. He's over there bopping around to his new Kid Rock CD. I see him. Kid Rock, yeah.
No, I was just looking at this, I know a lot of times, what do you call it? I expect you guys when I tell you a Ponca word, go look in that dictionary, see if you can find it. Yesterday or the day before, I told Connie about how my family name, one of my family names on my father's side is Tatonga Noji Jinga.
Mm-hmm.
She couldn't find it, and then she went and looked it up in that Omaha dictionary that they have. Didn't say it
Mm-hmm.
in it, but you look right here on
Okay.
Indian art and Grandpa Lewis's book. It tells it Tatonga Noji, standing buffalo. Now
I
he's
found
different than
10.
mine.
Mm-hmm.
He's different than my family. My family comes from Tatonga Naji Jinga, little standing buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
But like I
Yeah,
told you, in
Zinga.
a lot of these books, you ain't gonna find all the Ponca words I say, or even there's gonna be so much in it that I don't even know. In some of them things that I've never heard in my lifetime because I came in a time where it was dying out. I was just sitting here
Yep.
looking at these games and stuff, but
But you never know, Eagle. You might have come at just the right time.
good. I don't know.
You never know. But it could be true. There's so many things that go on that we know nothing about that alter thing. I mean, it has to be. There's no way. If even any scientific mind of any degree, of any caliber, can just look around and go, I have no idea what that's for. I don't know what that means. So, I mean, if they don't know, how are we to know, right? So that
Yeah.
could be exactly why you were put here when you were here, when you were put here, why you did what you did and why you didn't do what you didn't do, and why we're all sitting here right now trying to be philosophical and failing. It's so quiet out here. All I hear are birds. We have the loudest woodpecker out here, guys. And early in the morning, I can hear him. And he must be huge. He must be humongous. Almost went out to try and find him one morning, but then he moved away. I could hear him going further away, so I didn't. But I'm gonna find him one day, and I'm gonna get a picture of his little butt.
What kind of woodpeckers they have out there? Well,
Oh shoot! I got Bluetooth. I should have brought with me. Do y'all want to go in, doggies? No. I have panting dogs. I wonder if I should take them in.
is it hot?
It's cool whenever we're under the shade we're on the back porch with us. What you call it? Tin roof on this porch, and it's comfortable, but it's just when the wind blows, it's really nice, but it's warm. They've been laying in the sun. This one, he comes out here, and every day he wants nothing but to lay in the sun. That's all he wants, lay in the sun. And then he lays in there so long, he gets so hot, he has to come out of it. And you can't coerce him to come out early either. He'll just go back in it. But I'm wondering, do you need to go in, Booty Boots? Booty Boot. His name is Buddha. My best friend named him. It was her dog till she died, and then now it's my dog. These two dogs that I have are both her dogs. And when she died, I promised I would keep them and take care of them, and we are. You ready to go in? I have him, and I have this Lhasa Apso, who is also hers. That's the other one I was mentioning. Okay, you want to wear your? Oh, I'm sorry. Did I hear you? I'm sorry. Let's see about how long it take me to get this up. I'm gonna put y'all on mute for a second.
Yeah. Where did you get that walks on the ground book yet, or just your dictionary so far?
I only have the dictionary so far.
When you get that other book, it's kind of interesting to read.
Yeah, I have it in my Amazon shopping cart, but I just haven't been able to buy it yet.
Yeah. But I got this with Emily bought it for my 43rd birthday. It was $100 some when she bought it.
Here, I'm trying to figure out how to get my computer to work. Okay, you know you live with men when you find a bottle of ketchup on the floor. The heck? Present men company accepted, I'm sure, because I know y'all would never do a thing like that.
I mean, I have pets, so if I leave ketchup on the floor, they will eat it. So
It's just this great big old random bottle of ketchup that I found. Beside this on the floor, I have a Walmart bag from my brother-in-law who has gifted me with about 4 chocolate bars and some cheese whiz and a cat. This is random things that happen when you live with 2 men that are brothers, I guess. I'm trying to find my plug-in for my computer. I'm in a house and I need to find my computer plug-in. The Eagle apparently wants someone to read. Is that correct, sir?
Yeah, just find a story to read in there.
You did? What was it? What is it?
I said, you find one.
Did you say me find it?
Reader's choice.
Oh, Reader's Choice. So you found a story to read in there, but yet I have to find it.
Well, I didn't find one. I did look.
We could read the story of Marjorie Taylor Greene and how she's making me laugh all morning. But that's a whole nother thing going on. She's just silly. I got to get this thing working and it's not working. Everything's gonna fall on the floor. I've got so many things. I've got a whole bookcase behind me that's being taken apart to put things away and donate. I've got so many things, Eagle, that are like women's clothes and even some men's clothes and things that could fit women and men, and even some children. I have some children's clothes actually that I forgot about that I could take to White Eagle and just like, here, everybody have it, toys, all that kind of stuff. But it cost me more to take it there than it would. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm going to wind up having to donate it, and it just kills me. It's just because I know the girl that runs the thrift store here. It's supposed to be a Salvation Army one, and I don't like her. I don't like her. She doesn't like me. It's one of them things. She's just. It's not that I don't know her personally, but she's just been over the top rude to me and Scott before for no apparent reason, unless there's something I did that I don't know about. Little petty stuff that drives you crazy. It's like, why be like that? Can't we all just get along? Okay, so Reader's Choice. Let me find. I'm trying to get my computer on so I can find something to read because I have to look at the book on my. You were saying, weren't you just mentioning about how somebody bought you the book for your birthday?
Yeah, Emily did. My
Emily
43rd birthday.
did. Oh wow, good for her. I'm glad. That's nice. That was a great
She
present,
said,
actually.
she said, happy 43rd birthday. I hope you have many more to come. Love, Emily K.
Aw, that's sweet. She's sweet.
And then I went and seen Grandpa Lewis and I had him sign it too.
Did you really? Awesome. That one that he signed for Scott is it's still in plastic and it's just going to be put up and staying in plastic forever and ever.
He said,
And
best wishes to you as you read Grandpa Lewis.
he said, "What now? Say it again."
He said, best wishes to you
Oh,
as you read Grandpa Lewis.
as you
And I was
read.
like,
Well, what if you're not reading? God, I'm goofy today. I'm having a weird day. I'm sorry. I did. You
I'm
ever had
sleeping
one of those just weird days? Gosh.
every day. every day since that wreck, I'm feeling good. I'm going
Yeah.
through some kind of pain.
Oh
I'm either
yeah.
frustrated or I'm emotional or I'm
I feel you.
praying. I just feel like
Mm,
I don't know. Go ahead, read this. I don't want to get in the
I
way.
no, keep going because I still have to get my computers. I have to read on my phone, and I can't do both. You know what I mean? I can't like be on this and read at the same time on my phone because it will take me out of one or the other. Like I can't be connected to this whatever this thing is called, life size, and read in the Kindle app. Because as far as you were mentioning about getting the paper book, yeah, mine is I couldn't spend the $90 on it, so I had to get a Kindle version, which I think was like I don't know, 35, 45, something like that. That was the best I could do.
Yeah.
So I can only do one at a time. But yeah, I have another phone here somewhere. I don't know what I did with it either. I got an old phone, and it's not good for much of anything except reading Kindle books on. It's around here somewhere. The phone that I'm on is like a really expensive. It's one of the new ones that fold. It's called a Samsung Galaxy Fold, um, Galaxy Z Fold 3 is what it's called, and it broke. The part where it folds got just you can when you fold it open and close it, you see a big line in it, and you hear crinkles like from glass. It's really like, ooh, no, but I'm almost there. It's taking a minute with our slow little internet. Usually Saturdays are slow too for internet out here because we have more people on. So, Robert, do you guys have good internet where you're at? Do you have like city internet?
Yeah, so we actually have Google Fiber out here.
Hmm, jealous.
Oh yeah, it's actually one of the reasons we moved to Gurley. So
Is it really? Yeah. Wow. That's cool. Are you really close to like the big city, or are you
yeah,
guys
so
out a little bit?
we're essentially uh, 20 to 30 minutes outside of Huntsville, which is currently
Hmm.
the largest city we have around us.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Mhm.
and since it's uh, Rocket City, they're like, all right, we'll just put the Google Fiber out here for that. And since we're just on the outskirts enough of it, then we got it.
Wow, you're lucky. Oh my gosh. How fast is it? Like raving fast, right? Just rages everywhere.
Yeah, about as fast as we need it.
Damn right. That's what I need. I wish. Yes, my husband does games and things. I do not. His brother does the game thing, so they get along there. But
Yeah, I mean, Diane and I don't really. We just read a
right,
whole
yeah.
bunch and watch a bunch of stuff.
That's me. I don't even watch TV very much, but I like documentaries and things. I'm not trying to sound. I mean, documentaries on weird things too. Doesn't have to be, educational, just anything documentaries. But yeah, that's the only thing I'd really watch. But mainly it's reading. But it's nice to be able to do many things at once. Like let them have their game, and then let me have, either something on TV or something that I can do like we're doing now. Talk to somebody. Okay, I'm getting there. But yeah, that would be really doggone nice. As it is, we can only do like one. Well, we also have to have our TV. As a matter of fact, I forgot to mention that our TV. We don't have internet or cable TV fiber here where we're at. Period. So we
Oh, I
have to
get
do
it.
that
No,
also. Yeah.
we used to have a HughesNet, and that was essentially 20 gigs
Ugh,
during the day and 20 at night, and we could only have one
no.
computer on at a time. So yeah,
Yes, that was awful, wasn't it? Oh my gosh. Is that about 10 years ago or so? I'm guessing.
no, about 5 years ago before we moved here.
Really? Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, it's horrible. We did that one year, and I was counting down the months till I could sign out of that contract. Boy,
Oh,
get
agreed.
me out of
Except that was
here.
the only choice we had, so we were just like, we're just gonna
Yeah.
move.
Yeah. Because the only way I think they wouldn't let you month to month probably either after that, if I remember.
Nope,
I
you
think it
had to
was
do
more
it
or
by
less
a
you have to
year.
sign up. Ugh. Yeah. Yeah. We had I started doing my internet and using like my phones as internet after that. So I would have to pay for the hotspot feature, and stuff like that. And Now I'm still doing that, but with a different twist. It's a little more. I have a router that's like a not too cheap of a router, and it has room for a SD card. I mean, what you call it? What do you call it when you put it in the phone?